Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Our current session focuses on bilingualism. I hope and expect by the end of this session you would be able to understand the term and the basic concepts related to this term. Well, my dear students, Emmanuel 1980 voiced the popular notion of his days that bilingual is a person who has native-like control over two languages. Based on various perspectives of the notion of proficiency and functions, a considerably vast variety of definitions of bilingualism exist today. And you know from the definition that he gave earlier that it is a native-like control over two languages. It is challenged in today's world. Because if we look at, learning or knowing or using two languages or more than two languages in a situation, the kind of grip or control or proficiency of use or competence in the language would depend upon certain things, different language skills, knowing the language use in terms of its functions, etc., would be there at, working at or operating at varying degrees. So, this one definition that says it is native-like control, today it is not considered to be very suitable in sociolinguistics. And today it is thought that proficiency and functions, they thus provide a vast variety or a vast range of, different, levels of or of different degrees of, and even sometimes different types of bilingualism. According to Romain 1995, most of the definitions are dichotomous, they are binary, working in pairs. And the examples that Romain has given are of ideal and partial bilingualism, coordinate and compound bilingualism, and on the continuum of bilingualism, reference to different, degrees of bilingualism are made by Romain. Well, my dear students, as far as incipient bilingualism is concerned, this is generally termed as passive bilingualism as well, or sometimes receptive bilingualism as well. This is considered to be a very beginning stage or a very, very initial stage of bilingualism. In this kind of bilingualism, a person may not be able to produce complete sentences or meaningful utterances completely without any flaws, but that person can understand, as the other person speaks that language. So as the term incipient, or as the term, passive, or as the term recipient shows, this is where the bilingual person can receive the input, can understand when the other person speaks, though he or she may not be able to use it himself or herself very perfectly. Emmanuel claims the term can be applied to a broad range of situations. It can be applied to the situations where a bilingual has a native-like control over second language, but at the same time it can be applied to the situations where the individual has the minimalistic, very low level of knowledge of the other language. Another dichotomy or another kind of division or another kind of bifurcation that exists within the literature related to bilingualism is that regards to that division of individual and societal bilingualism. I hope the terms themselves make it clear. Individual bilingualism relates to the individual, the person, whereas the societal bilingualism is more like practice that is common to the whole community or to the whole society or, to the whole group of people. At the individual level, a person can be bilingual even in those cases where the society or the group or the community is not bilingual. So a person may know another language that is not known to the people in his or her society. In that case, that person would be an individual bilingual. Yule 1996 illustrates that a person's bilingualism may be the result of the fact that his father or her father and mother speak two different languages. So, sometimes this bilingualism comes from where? the family, the ancestors, the parents. If father speaks one language and the mother speaks another language, the child, the probability is, would learn both the languages. In this kind of case, though there might not be any realization of the distinction between the two languages, however, later on, generally, one language becomes the dominant language of that bilingual, which that person or that bilingual uses in most of the situations, and the other one, becomes, a subordinate code for that person. Well, my dear students, as far as societal bilingualism is concerned, where, as a society or as a community, a group of people uses more than one codes, and they are the common codes that are shared amongst the whole society, this is called societal bilingualism. There is a possibility that one language and a few dialects, one language and one dialect, two dialects, or more than two dialects. This can be any kind of a combination. Well, my dear students, as far as the scope of bilingualism is concerned, the scope of bilingualism is very vast. And why it is vast? Because of certain factors, because of today's lifestyle, because of today's means of communication, means of transportation, because of the spread of media, especially of social media, where, the contacts, amongst people, they have increased a lot, and, the boundaries, the social as well as the geographical boundaries, they have blurred. All these factors have given rise to, the significance of the processes of bilingualism. Thus, the study of bilingualism also has gathered more scope. So, it is very wide, and also, when it comes to the study of bilingualism, it cannot be restricted to, only linguistics proper as a discipline. It has spread from there to sociolinguistics and to psycholinguistics and to sociology and to other, areas and aspects of the study of language. So the conclusion that we draw about the term bilingualism is that it has become a significant term in today's world, and it cannot be limited to one discipline such as linguistics or even as sociolinguistics. It has spread to other disciplines as well.